Okay, I'm Oscar.
I'm Mindy.
We first met in 2010,
November.
and I was her manager, and I was training her at her first job. I'd like real job, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting anything whatsoever. I just graduated from tech, and that was my first job out of college. Throughout the entire time, we were just really good friends. Eventually, a friendship just kind of blossomed, and after we decided to not see the people we were seeing beforehand, we decided to give it a shot, and it worked out really well.
We ended up moving to Hewitt's to get away because I was going through a divorce and he was going through things, and he wanted to get away and sober up. And we moved here. We sobered up for 30 days. Found out I was pregnant with twins. And then
That was,
there's a little stumbling block.
yeah, it was really rough.
My water broke at 18 weeks. But I kept them in for another month.
20 weeks.
23 weeks.
20 weeks for the first.
It was 22 weeks and 6 days. Twin A was born, and she was stillborn. And then December 24th, Bella was born. She lived for 38 days, and she had an infection. She fought the infection. And she really kicked butt at that one. Then she had a virus, and it consumed her. That she kind of like blew up like a balloon. She started losing oxygen to her fingers, her toes, her nose. Like it was really bad. They had to put her in an enclosed room because they thought she had.
There was a MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. So they had contact precautions on her, and eventually she succumbed to the infection. And Mindy was there the entire time and was able to hold her. But during that last part, when she was going to pass away and be with the Lord, it was my only time to actually get to hold her. So she passed away in my arms. And that was about the time that I just kind of lost my grip, I guess. Both of us did. We both
Went off the deep end.
Yeah, really depressed.
And then 6 months later, found out I'm pregnant with our son. So, we sober up. Of course I did, because I'm pregnant.
I was still dealing with it.
He still had his issues during the time, and I was like, if we're going to have this boy, you got to sober up. I'm not going to go through this again. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. Oh, well, he did. We got an apartment, had our son, and it was good. It was really good. He worked for a few months, and then I eventually went to work. A few years later, drinking started. I went off the deep end and basically went crazy. I had to go to the doctor, thinking my doctor would help me out. First thing he gave me was Xanax. I was like, oh, okay, never had a pill problem. I took them like hydrocodones, but I've had 2 back surgeries, so I took them and then I was done because the pain's gone. I thought, how I was gonna take the chill off. Well, I did way more than that. I just started popping more. I felt numb. I felt like a zombie. Then the drinking got worse and worse, and we began to lose everything. He lost his job.
Yeah.
I lost my job.
Drank way too much. Lost our apartment. Ended up moving back here to Waco.
And the pills just got more. I just kept eating more and more. And instead of like 1 bottle, I got 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And then I mixed alcohol with it. And one day I just went off the deep end, blacked out, and stabbed my husband with a mechanical pencil under a little bridge because he said I was getting wrinkles on my forehead.
But I knew that it wasn't her. I knew it was just the medication that was clouding her mind and her judgment. And so when the authorities came, I told them everything that happened. And just like it wasn't her. She just has this over medication type problem, and they asked me questions too. I was under the influence. I was also on anxiety medication and mixing it with alcohol as well. And it was a situation to where they had to take her to jail.
I was in jail for 30 days. I sobered up. That's when I found Jesus. I had to take myself to the infirmary because it was too much. They were giving medications that I was allergic to, and it was making me very, very sick. That's when I sat for 6 hours in my little cell that I was in, and I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I found Jesus. It was amazing. You know, it was a weight just lifted off, like you've been forgiven. I went back to pills because I was back in this horrible place that it wasn't great.
Basically, it was a place where it would offer shelter to people and offer medical type assistance, and under the guise that this is going to help you, that this is what doctors have prescribed you, so make sure you take this and you'll be fine, you'll be able to operate. And
it was free. Every pill that you could possibly get was free.
And
so you could just say one thing and, oh, here's a pill for that.
Yeah.
So I'm back to my 7 bottles of psych meds. And I started drinking again. And I was there, like I couldn't see him or our son for 100 days when I was released from jail. And so I was by myself again. But you know, like the whole time we've been together, we've had the love. We've had that friendship. We've always communicated. We've never had an argument. And if we did, we sit down and we talk about it. So it's never changed. Just things were put in the way and blocked it to keep us from not being together. So we've always had it. But, you know, the pills got involved and all, you know, all this stuff. And his family didn't want me here. They didn't trust me.
It's hard to explain to them how much love that I actually had for the things that we'd gone through.
They didn't understand why he was still with me. Even though I stabbed him and did all these bad things, he still loved me for who I was. But they couldn't comprehend it. You know, it's not because someone did something bad to you. Yeah, it's okay, but I still have this love. And I know he did, but his family didn't want me around. So I was homeless again. I walked around Hewitt for like 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out what to do. Called his mom and I was like, I'm homeless, I have nowhere to go and your family doesn't want me. What do I do? And she's like, well, let me call Pastor Albert. And she is a pastor at Calvary Chapel here in Waco. And you know, I'm sitting on my suitcase drinking a beer, smoking cigarettes and popping my pills saying, I give up. I want to go. I don't care anymore. Nobody wants me. You know, nobody wants to help me. My parents, there's no hope in that one. You know, they're like, well, I'm not giving you money. I'm not. You know, do this on your own. So I burned that bridge, but I called Pastor Albert, and he was like, are you ready to find Jesus? You want Jesus back in your life? And I was like, I will do anything. And he was like, okay. And his mom, because I was sitting there, like after I hung up with him, he texted me the phone number, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, you know. But another part of me was like, you have a son. You have a son that needs you. You have a husband who needs you. You're the strongest one in this family that can mend all of you back together. I was like, man, I just want to drink my beer, pop my pills, and smoke my cigarettes. That's all I want. I was like, what more can, you know, someone ask for, whatever. So his mom texted me, and she was like, have you called him? I was like, no. And she's like, call him. And I think if she would not have texted me, I would have never called. I would not have made the phone call. But I called him, and less than 5 minutes, Gilbert was right there in that parking lot. And he was like, you could throw a stone and you could hit him. That's how close he was. And I was like, where did you come from? How, really? And if he wouldn't have come in that certain amount of time, I think I would have just killed myself. Because I was like, my husband doesn't want me. He's drunk, you know. He he's not in his right mind. So how am I going to fix someone that I'm not in my right mind? How am I going to fix him? I have, And so he picked me up, and that's when my journey began. And then,
So I was, like she said earlier, I was drunk because I didn't know what to do. I was just upset at the whole situation. Upset that my family didn't want anything to do with her. I had no place to live. I was essentially crashing on someone's couch, and they didn't want her staying there. I was so grateful to hear that she'd found something, but at the same time, I felt like a horrible husband, horrible person for not being able to help my wife at the time, to help her rebuild what was pretty much destroyed, or at least what I thought had been destroyed with no help of repair. So, this entire time I'm just even more diving into it, taking more medicine, because I'd been given the same kind of pills for the struggles I was going through after our daughters type thing. I never really come to grasp with it, or come to grips with it. So it was just kind of me just kind of going head first into it. I eventually ended up saving enough money, I don't know how, to pay off all the things that I needed to pay off. And I made a decision to not take any more pills. I was done. I was really over it, and I wanted my family back together. So I call Gilbert after talking to Pastor Albert, and Pastor Albert and I had this relationship where he knows my family and knows me, and him and I have gotten into it a few times, bumped heads. But he did it in love. He did it with actual like he cared about what was happening in my life. He didn't want to see me just blow up. So he ended up giving me the number to Gilbert, and I ended up calling Gilbert, and it worked out to whereas he said he would send me to a place to get help. It was really awesome. And he also allowed me to see my wife, because there was a 30-day kind of policy where they can't have any visitors, which is understandable because who knows what would happen sometimes in those 30 days. So I saw the change in my wife when I first saw her, and it was amazing. Like, it was just, the light was back in her eyes. She was happy. She was smiling. She was just a brand new person. And I was really moved. I was like, man, I want that. I want to not have to worry about drinking something in the morning so I won't shake, be all weird. So I signed up. How that works, but I came back here to Waco. They opened up their home to me, which was incredible because things just moved in such a way to whereas I can actually go and be there and grow as a person. And since then, I've changed my entire way of thinking. I've changed my entire perspective on things. I've healed. Like, I'm not sick like I was anymore.
The love is back.
It's amazing. If not, it's even grown stronger.
Yes.
Between the both of us. And this is like when both of us have been pursuing a common goal, Christ, which is an amazing journey to take. It seems as like the conversations that we have now at the dinner table are completely different. They are, instead of what did you get from the store, it's more of like, hey, did you read this scripture? Did you read this? Like,
hey, look at
check
this.
This out. Look at our notes.
Boaz did this to Ruth.
Boaz is so cool. But it's an amazing thing just being able to be here, and all the people that we've come to know. I mean, it's really like a family. It is a family. There's nothing else that I can even compare it to, because these people, everyone, brothers and sisters, mom and dad, it's a way to grow. And we've all come from similar traumatic events that have shaped the people who we are, but you don't have to live like that completely at all. Like for the rest of your life,
You depend on Christ.
and it'll change your way of thinking, the way you talk, the way you act, the way the humor in little things. That's not.
And like if you get into an argument with something or someone or whatever, instead of going to pop pills, you're going to buy that beer or whatever, you cry about it. And you show feelings, you talk. And that is the most amazing thing, because I've never, my entire life, never been able to do that. And now I'm able to sit down and have a conversation and not freak out about it. I'm just like, oh, I have love. Like my heart is completely different. I used to just be away from people, now I want to be around, and now I want to be around everyone. And I read the Bible with my husband, and I'm like, oh, wow, it's something here. It's amazing. Like there's no words to how amazing it is. You know, and if you can go through so many traumatic things, and then in the end you have this. It's worth every bit of it.
Yeah.
It's worth it all.